How about them Cowboys? Angry Cowboys fan. Born to battle. Start just means we never sell. America's team through thick and thin. When the sun shines bright, that's where we win. Angry Cowboys fan.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation and Angry Cowboys fans around the world? Y'all know who it is. It's your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. And if you've been rocking with the Angry Cowboys Fan YouTube channel for a minute, y'all know that I take my time to watch these Dallas Cowboys press conferences so I can analyze each and every comment said by our coaching staff as well as the front office. The same applies to Christian Parker, the newest coaching mind of the Dallas Cowboys. So I did my due diligence and listening to what he had to say in his most recent interview just to get a better understanding as to how he's going to approach his position and how it will affect our defense moving forward. Like a movie review, I'm not just going to go out there and give my take on it the moment the interview ends because, hey, I could be biased. I could be optimistically biased without actually hearing what this young man has to say. So we're going to take a listen to the 3 clips that I got for y'all, and y'all know what we're going to do. We're going to come back and unpack this raw and uncut. So, Angry Cowboys fans, let's take a listen to what Coach Parker had to say in his first rookie mini camp of the 2026 season with the Dallas Cowboys.
Your point was versatility in getting a guy like this.
Yeah, I mean, I think a guy like Caleb, he's a natural football player. He's one of those, first picks in the schoolyard, you know what I mean? So he's going to have natural versatility, and just a matter of, what he can handle mentally and how we fit everything together.
I know it's just day one of minicamp, but what have you seen from him now, just being in the building and getting him acclimated to what you guys are doing?
He's the same guy we had in the building on the 30 visit, same guy we saw on tape, just an intentional person, consistent, really, just flatline, you know what I mean? Not like in terms of not having energy, but he's just consistent in terms of his approach and everything he does.
Now, does that sound familiar to you, Cowboys Nation? Remember when Christian Parker said that in his introductory press conference? If you don't quite remember what he said, let's go ahead and take a listen to the clip so we can get a little bit of reference real quick.
Very important. That guy, he's a corner sometimes, he's a safety sometimes, he's a backer sometimes, he's a defensive end when he's blitzing. You want to have a guy who has natural instincts and ability to feel the game and play football. He's usually a guy who, if you were playing football on a Saturday afternoon in the neighborhood, he's your first-round draft pick, just because he feels the game naturally. So that's definitely an important dynamic of the defense.
Christian Parker was able to get that skeleton key in this past draft in Caleb Downs. Brother is able to do everything that Coach Parker envisioned his key player would be able to do. Play the nickel, play the safety, blitz from the nickel, blitz from the edge, and be that player that everyone wants in their first round draft pick out when they're playing Saturday morning football. Now, I'm super excited to see how he develops a scheme with him at the forefront. Now, let's go ahead and get into the second clip so we can come back and talk about it. Roll the clip.
We're looking at Jayshon Barham during the draft process and your history and the defenses that you've learned under. How did you kind of see Barham as this chess piece that you could use as an inside linebacker?
Well, I think the best thing is you don't have to project it because you see it. At both Maryland and Michigan, he's playing in both spots. He's playing off the ball. He's playing on the edge. They're playing Ohio State. It's goal line. He's 3 yards behind the nose and just tracking the football. So you see those different traits. So you want to see him off the ball and kind of see how that goes from that transition before you put him anywhere else. You could take advantage of more versatility when he's on that second level than if he's on the edge. But he's certainly capable of playing both. We're gonna keep him at Mike right now and kind of see how that goes.
How have you seen that type of player succeed in past defenses that you've been a part of?
It's kind of similar to Baron Browning was probably the most recent example. When he was at Ohio State, he played both spots. We drafted him in Denver. He was hurt when he came out. He ended up starting his rookie year at Mike and started for a couple games for us, and then he ended up moving to edge after that. But Jayshon has some similar traits to Baron. We just got to kind of bring him along and see how the brain works.
When you took that defensive coordinator job and you looked at the way the roster was on defense, how does it look now compared to then?
I think we've done a good job. I think, the Joneses and Will, and their staff over there. They've done a good job just assessing and evaluating talent. Bringing players to us. We're having great dialogue on what the schematic fits are, what we're looking for, what we expect those guys to do in different situations. If we have this, then maybe we don't have that, and kind of how to piece it all together. Because the defense is going to get formed about the personnel that we have. But their process has been very thorough in terms of just accumulating the talent.
To keep it a buck, Cowboys Nation, Jayshawn Barham is a sneaky great pickup for the Dallas Cowboys. Having such a multiple player being able to play on the edge as well as the Mike linebacker position is something that we wanted when Micah Parsons was a part of the Dallas Cowboys. Barham is quick, his pursuit and his closing speed is something that's necessary, especially in a division where you got 3 mobile quarterbacks. It's a necessity to have someone that can play sideline to sideline, but also be violent in his play and his approach to football. I got a great feeling that he's going to be used efficiently in this Christian Parker defensive scheme. Now let's go ahead and get into the third clip so we can come back and unpack this raw and uncut.
Christian, what have you learned about how to delegate throughout your coaching staff, what your vision is, what you want them to do, and how to apply that?
Yeah, I think, number one, I've had some really good examples to learn from, with Mike Elko, Mike Pettin, Ejero Evero, Vance Joseph, and Vic. They did that, so I saw that in that style. So really just what was comfortable for me, meeting a lot together and kind of explaining the vision, getting that input, us kind of having a collective shared vision on what we want this defense to be like, because it's our defense. I don't want it to be called the Eagles defense or Vic's defense. Like, this is going to be ours. So we've been really intentional about going about that process, from language that we use and the workflow that we have and everything else. So it's been real fun.
Back on the draft process and the texting of photos and such, how much did you feel like your voice was heard by the Joneses, by Will, as the process went along?
Yeah, I feel like it was a very collaborative approach, from Will to the Joneses to Klein Kubiak to Shadi to the position coaches. I mean, there's a whole lot of dialogue. You're getting different perspectives. People are responsible for looking at certain things and gathering certain information. So I think as we kind of explained what we were looking for and how we were looking for it, I think it all came together. It was real collaborative.
Now that's what I'm talking about, Coach Parker. I mean, I understand that he comes from a specific defensive tree, but that doesn't mean that the team's going to be a Vic Fangio type of scheme and they'll be able to watch Vic Fangio and scheme on what Christian Parker's going to do for the Dallas Cowboys defense. This is going to be Christian Parker's defense. I mean, it may have some similar principles to Fangio, but I don't believe that it's going to be a spitting image of Vic Fangio's defense. But let's dive into it a little bit more, shall we? Y'all ready for this raw and uncut? Y'all ready? Let's get it. Get ready for the Angry Cowboys fans, raw and uncut.
Man, keeping it real, man, keep it real, that's real.
Now, I tell you, Cowboys Nation, the more I hear Coach Parker speak, the more excited I get about the defense for this upcoming year. The fact that he was instrumental in choosing the talent that was acquired during free agency as well as the draft. The fact that Jerry and Stephen Jones have allowed him to have a voice when it came to who we brought to the team and the emphasis he put on player development. Something that I feel the Dallas Cowboys have overlooked for a while now. The way Coach Parker's going to be using the top 3 draft picks of this past draft looks to make the back end of the Dallas Cowboys defense a force to be reckoned with. The fact that we were able to land that chess piece that Coach Parker was speaking about in his introductory press conference is special. And with the addition of players that can be multiple depending on the scheme that they're in, it'll have that back end fast and reactionary to opposing offenses. And we witnessed our defensive front be able to slow the bleeding when it came to the opposing team's rushing attack last year. Strength within the middle of the defense in Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark and the speed of the players that are on the second level, it allow a much lighter box in the run situation. The key is to get the linebacker situation right in order for the defensive backs to be successful this year. And one player that the press, for some odd reason or another, skipped out on mentioning during their questions about particular players is Maurice Leofau. I understand that he wasn't drafted or selected by Christian Parker and he's a part of a different defensive coordinator's vision. It just seems kind of odd to me that a player of his mindset doesn't get out on the field and contribute. But I see a place on this defense for Maurice Leofau. I mean, it may not be at the green dot position, but to put him at Sam or Will, I believe that would improve the physicality at that position alone. I mean, I know that they say that they're going to be moving him to the outside, but I'd like to see a consistent rotation with Maurice Leofau involved. I mean, if you're letting go of C.J. Goodwin this year, you can put Maurice Leofau in that position. But you can tell that Coach Parker's trying to assemble the fastest yet physical type of player for this defense, with the anchors being the defensive tackles in the middle of the field. Smart, high NFL IQ types with the mind of violence at all three levels. Can you see that with the way this defense has been constructed so far, Cowboys Nation? And I know some Cowboys fans have worried about the whole cornerback position, and with this whole Give Downs number 2 campaign going on, I've seen people tell those fans not to sleep on Kobe Durant, that the Cowboys got a dude at one of the cornerback positions, a dude that isn't afraid of contact, a dude that's stingy with the football. We got the same on the other side in DeRon Bland, praying that he can stay healthy throughout the entire season. But with the drafting of the Skeleton Key and Caleb Downs and having corners that could play nickel, I'm looking at you, Reddy Stewart. This defense could be one of the most physical defenses that we have seen in years. But what really gets me hype about Christian Parker as well is the fact that a number of Philadelphia Eagles fans online try to put Cowboys fans down for selecting him as the defensive coordinator, telling Cowboys fans that we want our defense like the Philadelphia Eagles defense. They're online trying to make it seem as if he didn't have much of an impact in their secondary, even though we have Cooper DeJean to say differently. Yet and still, they'll still tell you that Cooper DeJean said it because, oh, well, Cooper DeJean had to say it. No, he didn't. He didn't have to say a damn thing about Christian Parker, but he did. Needless to say, the acquisition of Coach Parker as our defensive coordinator has the Philadelphia Eagles fan base shook, as if they truly know that if the Dallas Cowboys had a defense last year, things would have been a little bit different. Well, the offense hasn't changed as far as the personnel and the coaching goes, and the defense is going to be that defense that we wished we had last year. And it's good to hear the vision that he has for Jayshawn Barham, the clear confidence that he has in that man to be able to be multiple on his defense, starting him at the off-ball linebacker position, but working him around the defensive line like a chess piece, moving him up and down the line in a blitzing situation. Does that sound kind of familiar, Cowboys Nation? But with the acquisitions during free agency and the prospects that we picked up in this most recent draft, this Dallas Cowboys team looks to be very promising. On paper, Cowboys Nation. Seeing these young guys on film is evidence enough of their abilities on the football field. All they need is to be developed and coached to become a unit. We got a pretty good sample size of Brian Schottenheimer to see that he is a leader of men. Seeing the impact that Christian Parker had on the young defenders in the game and the league already, it leans toward him being just fine at the position that he finds himself in. Now all Cowboys Nation needs is for him and Shotty to coach beyond expectation, and this Dallas Cowboys team will certainly be a team that could be contending for a championship this year. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. Cowboys Nation, are you picking up what I'm laying down when it comes to Coach Parker and how important his success is to the overall success of the Dallas Cowboys? If he's able to really get through to these men, how dangerous this squad could be. Y'all know how we do. We always talk about it in the comment section. If you're digging this content and you want to help get it out to even more Dallas Cowboys fans, drop a like on this video, share it with anybody that you know is a Dallas Cowboys fan. And if you're on your mobile device and you haven't used them up yet, make sure you hype this video. Doing so will help get the content out to even more Dallas Cowboys fans. They'll come over to the Angry Cowboys Fan YouTube channel and want to become Angry Cowboys fans themselves. And if you are DC for life and you just believe in the vision, you have faith that Christian Parker's going to do the damn thing for our defense, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to be notified whenever I go live, release another video, podcast episode, or film breakdowns. You can catch the Madden 26 or College Football 26 gameplay on my other channel, the Angry Cowboys Fan Gaming Channel. I'll make sure I put the link to that as well as the gamer tag in the description. You can call it caping, you can call it hopium, you can call it drinking the Kool-Aid, you can call it whatever you want to call it. I believe in this group of men. I believe that these men have what it takes to compete this year. And as long as the learning curve is short, I feel that this squad could really do some damage in the league for the 2026 season and beyond. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan, and I'm out. Dang, Angry Cowboys Fan, you done made it through the entire video. But if you want more content, you can definitely go to this video right here. Or if you want the latest episode of the Angry Cowboys Fan podcast, you can go right here. But whatever you do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, but remain DC for life.